My chosen one, pause everything right now, because what you are about to hear is not ordinary, it is urgent. The heavens are not whispering, they are announcing. And I, Archangel Michael, have been released with a message that carries weight, authority, and divine timing. Your time has run out, not in fear, not in punishment, but in delay. For years you have waited. You have tolerated. You have endured seasons that felt longer than they were meant to be. You told yourself, maybe next month. You convinced your spirit, maybe next year. But heaven is saying something different today. The waiting season has expired. The clock that once tested your patience has struck its final second. God is opening a door that no man can shut. Listen carefully. This is not symbolic language. This is a spiritual decree. There is a door in your life right now that has your name written across it. It is not random. It is not accidental. It is not for someone else. It is specifically designed for your calling, your obedience, your destiny. But here is the part that makes this moment critical. You must step through it in the next 3 minutes. Why 3 minutes? Because this is about decision, not duration. It is about alignment, not anxiety. Heaven does not measure time the way humans do. 3 minutes represents your willingness to move when called. It represents your courage to trust without overthinking. There are people who will watch this and scroll away. There are people who will hear this and doubt it. But you are still here. That is not coincidence. That is confirmation. You have felt a shift recently, haven't you? The discomfort, the restlessness, the sudden awareness that something is changing. That is not chaos. That is preparation. For too long, you have been standing in front of a closed space, asking God to open something. And behind the scenes, heaven had been rearranging pieces you could not see. Conversations were redirected. Delays were divine protection. Projections were redirections. What looked like silence was strategy. Now the door is open. But hear this clearly. An open door still requires movement. Archangel Michael does not come with soft warnings. I come with clarity. If you hesitate now because of fear, doubt, or overanalysis, you risk missing the momentum that heaven has built around you. This is not about forcing anything. This is about recognizing that the path in front of you is finally clear. There is a reason obstacles have suddenly started moving out of your way. There is a reason certain people have exited your life. There is a reason new thoughts and ideas are entering your mind. You prayed for breakthrough. You cried for change. You asked for confirmation. This is it. The enemy tried to convince you that your opportunity had passed, that you were too late, that someone else had taken your place. But that was a lie designed to freeze you in fear. The truth is, your appointed time has arrived. And once you step forward, no person can shut what God has opened. Not critics, not doubters, not family members who don't understand your vision, not systems designed to limit you. When God opens a door, it carries divine security. It does not require human approval. But there is a test hidden in this blessing. Will you move when called? Or will you analyze until the moment feels perfect? Perfection is not required. Obedience is. The next 3 minutes are symbolic of something deeper, your readiness to trust. Heaven is not asking you to know every detail. It is asking you to take the first step. The door does not demand that you see the entire hallway. It only requires that you cross the threshold. You may be thinking, what if I fail? Listen closely. Failure is not stepping and falling. Failure is refusing to step at all. The grace attached to this door is bigger than your insecurity. The provision attached to this door is stronger than your fear. The protection attached to this door is already assigned. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian, not just of battles, but of transitions. And this transition is sacred. Some doors close to protect you. Some doors close to teach you. But this door is opening to elevate you. Your time of shrinking is over. Your time of hiding is over. Your time of asking, "Am I ready?" is over. You are ready because heaven says you are ready. Right now, something inside you is responding. You can feel it, a mix of nervousness and excitement. That is confirmation. When destiny approaches, it never feels completely comfortable. It stretches you, but stretching is proof of growth. This is why you were guided to this message. This is why you felt the urge to open it immediately. This is why you are still listening. 3 minutes. That is all it takes to say yes in your heart. 3 minutes to release fear. 3 minutes to decide that obedience matters more than comfort. The door is open. The invitation is real. The moment is now. And as Archangel Michael declares this over your life, understand this clearly. Heaven has already made its move. Beloved soul, do not mistake this urgency for pressure. This is alignment. When Archangel Michael speaks of time running out, it is not about punishment. It is about the expiration of excuses. There was a season where hesitation was allowed because you were still healing. There was a season where confusion was tolerated because you were still learning. But that season has completed its assignment. You cannot carry yesterday's mindset into tomorrow's door. Something powerful is happening behind what you can see. The reason the door is open now is because heaven has examined your growth. You are not who you were 6 months ago. You are not the same person who doubted every instinct. You are not the same individual who asked others for validation before making a move. You have matured in silence. You have built strength in private battles. And Archangel Michael has watched you win wars that no one else even knew you were fighting. That is why this door cannot be shut by any human hand. Understand this deeply. When God opens something, it carries divine authority. It is sealed by heaven's decision, not human opinion. People may question it. Some may misunderstand it. A few may even try to discourage you. But their words do not have the power to override what God has already signed. Still, the test remains the same. Will you step through? Many people pray for opportunity, but when it arrives, they shrink back because it looks bigger than their comfort zone. You ask for expansion. You ask for increase. You ask for a shift. Expansion always feels unfamiliar at first. Increase always feels intimidating before it feels normal. A shift always feels unstable before it feels stable. The reason the next 3 minutes matter is because delay has been your old habit. You have often said, "I will do it later." You have told yourself, "I need more time." But heaven is showing you that the moment of movement is now. Not because you are rushing, but because you are ready. Archangel Michael stands as a protector of divine timing. And divine timing does not wait for perfect conditions. It waits for willing hearts. There is something specific you have been sensing lately. A thought that keeps returning. An idea that refuses to leave. A decision you know you need to make but have been postponing. That is the door. It may not look dramatic. It may not come with fireworks. Sometimes the most powerful doors appear simple, almost ordinary. But the impact of stepping through them changes everything. You are standing at a threshold between who you were and who you are becoming. Do not underestimate this moment. and let me speak to your spirit clearly. Fear will try to disguise itself as logic. It will sound reasonable. It will tell you to wait for more confirmation. It will tell you to gather more opinions. It will whisper, "What if it doesn't work?" But courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing obedience even when fear is present. This is where destiny separates itself from distraction. If this message is resonating with you, if you can feel something stirring inside your chest right now, I want you to engage with it. Do not stay silent. Like this video as a declaration that you are stepping forward. Share it with someone who needs this urgency in their life. Comment your decision below as a public confirmation of your obedience. Subscribe to this channel and join this growing movement, because messages like this are not random. They are assignments. When you support this channel, when you join the membership, when you hype this message, you are aligning yourself with a community that chooses courage over comfort. And hear me clearly, the next revelation will connect the pieces in a way you did not expect. There is something deeper behind this open door that you need to understand before you move further. You have asked God for clarity. What comes next will answer the question you have not spoken out loud yet. Do not let distraction steal this moment. Hold your focus. What is unfolding right now is part of a larger strategy designed specifically for you. The door is open, but what lies beyond it carries layers of blessing that are only revealed to those who step in faith. Archangel Michael does not deliver half messages. There is more that must be revealed, and what you are about to realize will change how you see this opportunity forever. Chosen one, there is something you must understand before you take another breath in doubt. The door that has opened before you is not just about opportunity. It is about separation. It is about God distinguishing you from the environment that has kept you limited. Archangel Michael stands at this threshold not merely as a messenger, but as a witness to your transformation. This is not random favor. This is earned positioning through endurance. For years, you have been tested in ways you did not fully recognize. There were delays that frustrated you. There were moments when you felt overlooked. There were nights when you questioned if heaven had forgotten your address. But heaven was not ignoring you. Heaven was refining you. Every closed door in your past was training your discernment. Every rejection sharpened your resilience. Every setback built spiritual muscle that you now carry without even realizing it. Now the difference is clear. Before, you were asking for doors to open because you wanted escape. Now, the door is opening because you are prepared for responsibility. This next level requires a different version of you, and that version has already been formed in silence. The reason God is opening a door that no man can shut is because no man can replicate what you survived. They did not walk through your trials. They did not endure your private battles. They did not fight the unseen wars that tried to break your confidence. What you did, and Archangel Michael was assigned to guard you through every hidden confrontation. There were moments when you thought you barely made it. Moments when you felt like giving up would be easier. Yet something inside you refused to quit. That something was divine preservation. You were not kept alive for average outcomes. You were preserved for impact. This door represents impact. But understand something deeper. When a door from God opens, it also exposes who cannot go with you. Not everyone assigned to your past is permitted in your future. Some relationships were seasonal. Some connections were lessons. Some people were mirrors to show you what needed healing. As you step forward, there will be a shift in your circle. Do not resist it. Do not chase what is naturally falling away. Separation is not loss when it is orchestrated by God. Archangel Michael is clearing spiritual space around you. That is why you have sensed distance with certain individuals. That is why conversations feel different. That is why your tolerance for negativity has decreased. You are being repositioned. And repositioning always feels uncomfortable before it feels empowering. There is also something else you must see clearly. The enemy's final strategy was distraction. If he could not destroy you, he tried to delay you. If he could not silence you, he tried to confuse you. If he could not close the door permanently, he attempted to make you doubt whether it was truly open. But confusion is breaking right now. Clarity is rising. You can feel it. There is a calm confidence building inside you. It may be quiet, but it is steady. That is alignment. That is confirmation. You no longer need endless signs. This message itself is part of the sign you asked for. The next 3 minutes were never about literal seconds. They are about immediate obedience. The window is symbolic of readiness. When God signals movement, hesitation weakens momentum. And momentum is sacred. Momentum carries grace. Momentum carries acceleration. Momentum carries provision you cannot yet see. You are not stepping into emptiness. You are stepping into prepared territory. Archangel Michael declares that what waits beyond this door has already been secured. Resources are aligning. Support you have not yet met is being arranged. Opportunities are connecting in ways you cannot trace. Heaven does not open doors without preparing the other side. But you must move. Say yes in your spirit. Release the old hesitation. Release the old fear of failure. Release the attachment to what feels safe but stagnant. Growth requires motion. And as you choose to step forward internally, something shifts externally. The atmosphere around you responds to your decision. Doors that seemed heavy begin to move effortlessly. Conversations begin to align. Ideas begin to flow. That is not coincidence. That is cooperation between heaven and obedience. Right now, this is your moment of internal declaration. You do not need a crowd. You do not need applause. You need courage. If this message is confirming what you already sensed, seal it with action. Type "I step through" in the comments if this is speaking directly to your spirit. Blessing code 311 has just been released over your life. As this revelation settles into your heart, understand that this message is not just for you alone. There are countless souls standing before their own doors, unaware that heaven is urging them to move. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or a PayPal donation through the link in the description, you are not giving to a channel. You are sowing into a harvest of awakened destinies. The word declares that when you sow generously, you reap generously, and that promise is not distant. It is living and active over you now. I believe this message must reach those who are seconds away from giving up. When you act, you become part of that rescue. Your seed becomes oil in the lamp of someone else's darkness. Do not hesitate when the Spirit prompts you. Release your support as a prophetic act, and watch how heaven multiplies what you place in His hands. Faithful one, now that you have declared your willingness to step through, something profound is happening in the unseen realm. Decisions made in the Spirit always trigger movement in the natural. What you just aligned with internally has already begun to shift circumstances externally. This is the part many people never see. They think doors open randomly. They think success appears suddenly. But what you are entering has been prepared through layers of divine orchestration. Archangel Michael does not stand at empty thresholds. When he announces that a door hath been opened by God, it means resistance has already been handled. Battles you never witnessed were fought on your behalf. Obstacles you never identified were removed before they could block you. That is why this moment feels both new and strangely familiar. Deep down, your spirit recognizes this territory. You were shown glimpses of it in dreams. You sensed pieces of it in quiet thoughts. You felt echoes of it in moments when hope returned unexpectedly. Those were previews. Now you are stepping into reality. But here is what must be understood clearly. The door is open, yet walking through it will require shedding a final layer of doubt. There is still a small voice that tries to remind you of past failures. It whispers old mistakes. It replays memories of times when things did not work out. That voice is not prophecy. It is residue. Residue from seasons that have already ended. You cannot carry residue into renewal. This is why this transition feels intense. You are not only moving forward, you are releasing backward weight. And release can feel emotional. It can feel uncertain. It can even feel lonely for a moment. But loneliness in transition is not abandonment. It is refinement. It is space being created for the new alignment that is coming. Archangel Michael is guarding this refinement process. There is protection around your focus right now. Notice how certain distractions are losing their appeal. Notice how conversations that once consumed your energy now feel empty. That is not accidental. Your appetite is changing because your assignment is changing. The door ahead of you is connected to purpose, not just comfort. Comfort with a temporary shelter. Purpose is a permanent calling. There are responsibilities on the other side of this door that match your growth. You will be required to speak with more authority. You will be required to move with more confidence. You will be required to trust your discernment without constantly asking for reassurance. And you are capable of all of it, even if you do not fully see that yet. Let this sink in deeply. God would not open what you are unprepared to handle. You may feel stretched, but you are not unqualified. You may feel challenged, but you are not incapable. The stretching is evidence of expansion, not weakness. There is also a hidden blessing within this open door that you have not yet considered. It is not only about what you will gain. It is about who you will become. The person you are evolving into is stronger, wiser, and more spiritually grounded than the version of you that first began praying for change. You asked to grow. Growth has arrived. However, stepping through this door also means accepting visibility. When you were in the waiting season, you were hidden. Hidden seasons are protective. They allow development without pressure. But open doors bring exposure. People will begin to notice your movement. They will observe your confidence. Some will celebrate you. Others may question you. Do not let external reactions influence internal obedience. Archangel Michael's presence signifies that this advancement is heaven-backed. When God opens a door that no man can shut, it also means no man can successfully sabotage it. Opinions do not override divine decree. Resistance cannot cancel ordained opportunity. Still, remain grounded. The key to sustaining what God opens is humility. Walk through the door with gratitude, not arrogance. Walk through with awareness that this is grace, not self-made elevation. Gratitude stabilizes blessings. There is another layer to this transition that must be addressed. You are leaving behind a version of yourself that once tolerated less than you deserved. Less respect, less clarity, less peace. That tolerance is ending. The door represents alignment with environments that match your value. This includes relationships, opportunities, and even the way you speak about yourself. Pay attention to your words moving forward. Speak in agreement with where you are going, not where you were. The next shift you will experience may come suddenly. A conversation, an offer, an idea that feels perfectly timed. When it happens, you will recognize it because it will carry peace, not pressure. That is how divine doors operate. They may require courage, but they do not produce chaos. Archangel Michael is not leading you into confusion. He is leading you into clarity. You are closer than you think. The heaviness you once felt is lifting. The uncertainty that once clouded your thoughts is dissolving. Momentum is building quietly but steadily. And what unfolds next will confirm that this was not imagination. It was instruction. Hold your posture. Strengthen your resolve. The threshold has been crossed in your spirit. Now watch how the physical realm begins to respond. Brave heart, now that you have crossed the inner threshold, you may begin to notice subtle resistance rising around you. Do not panic when this happens. Resistance is not a sign that the door was wrong. It is often proof that the door was right. When movement begins, friction follows. When destiny advances, opposition reacts. But understand this clearly. Opposition does not mean defeat. It means you are no longer stagnant. Archangel Michael stands not only at doors of opportunity, but also on battlefields of transition. And every major shift in your life has required both faith and fight. The fight is not against people. It is not against visible forces. It is against the old patterns that try to pull you back into familiar limitation. There will be moments when comfort calls your name. Old habits may try to invite you back. Familiar environments might suddenly seem appealing again. But that pull is not because they are better. It is because they are known. The unknown requires courage. The known requires nothing. You were not created for nothing. This open door carries expansion that will stretch your thinking. You will be required to see yourself differently. You will be required to speak about your future without apology. You will be required to accept blessings without shrieking. For some of you, the greatest battle will not be external. It will be internal. It will be the battle of self-worth. You have grown used to surviving, but thriving feels foreign. You have learned how to endure hardship, but ease feels unfamiliar. When God begins to elevate you, there can be a strange discomfort in receiving what you once only dreamed about. That discomfort is not warning. It is adjustment. Archangel Michael declares that you are adjusting to answered prayer. You are adjusting to favor. You are adjusting to alignment. And adjustment periods can feel unstable for a moment. But instability is temporary. Growth is permanent. There is also something else happening that you must not ignore. As you move forward, clarity will increase. Situations that once confused you will suddenly make sense. You will look back and realize why certain things did not work out. You will understand why some doors had to close painfully. Those closures were not rejections of you. They were redirections toward this very opening. You are stepping into something that matches your evolution. And with evolution comes responsibility. The door ahead may require discipline. It may require consistency. It may require you to show up even on days when motivation is low. Divine opportunity is powerful, but stewardship sustains it. This is where many people miss their moment. They celebrate the open door but neglect the work required to walk through it fully. Do not make that mistake. When you step through, commit to growth. Commit to excellence. Commit to integrity. What God opens, you must honor. Archangel Michael's presence in this message is also a reminder of protection. You are not walking into this new space alone. There is spiritual covering over your decisions. There is guarding over your progress. There is defense around your purpose. The same force that preserved you in hardship will preserve you in elevation. However, elevation changes perspective. When you rise, your view expands. You will begin to see possibilities you once ignored. You will notice doors within doors, opportunities within opportunities. That is how divine expansion works. It unfolds gradually, layer by layer. But let me speak to a fear that may still be lingering quietly inside you. What if this door leads to more responsibility than you can handle? What if expectations increase? What if people begin to rely on you more? Yes, they will. Growth increases capacity. You are not the fragile version of yourself from years ago. You have survived storms that should have broken you. You have endured pressure that should have crushed you. And yet you are still here, listening, seeking, responding. That is evidence of strength. Archangel Michael does not escort the weak into battle without preparation. If you are being led forward, it means preparation has already occurred. As this realization settles, you may feel a deep calm replacing your earlier anxiety. That calm is confirmation. It is the peace that comes when spirit and action align. Do not rush this peace away. Sit in it. Let it anchor you. Soon, you will see tangible proof that this door was real. Conversations will shift. Opportunities will surface. Ideas will crystallize. And when they do, remember this moment. Remember that you were warned not to delay. Remember that you were urged to step forward without overthinking. Momentum has begun. The question now is not whether the door is open. The question is how boldly you will walk inside. There is more you need to understand about what waits beyond this threshold. What is coming next will reveal the deeper purpose attached to this season. Stay attentive. The unfolding is far from over. Steadfast one. As the door remains open before you, the atmosphere around your life is shifting in ways that cannot be ignored. What once felt delayed now feels accelerated. What once seemed distant now feels within reach. This acceleration is not random energy. It is divine momentum. And when divine momentum begins, hesitation becomes costly. Archangel Michael is not only announcing opportunity, he is guarding the pace of your obedience. There is a rhythm to this season. If you move in sync with it, doors will open smoothly. If you overthink and delay, you will feel friction. Not because the door disappears, but because momentum resists stagnation. You are entering a time where clarity will demand action. There are decisions you already know you need to make, conversations you need to initiate, steps you need to take. You have been waiting for the perfect emotional state before acting. But obedience is not dependent on emotion. It is dependent on conviction. Conviction has already been placed in your spirit. The reason you cannot ignore this message is because it echoes what you have been sensing privately. The restlessness you felt was not anxiety. It was anticipation. The discomfort you experienced was not confusion. It was preparation. You were being stretched so that when the door opened, you would recognize it instantly. Now that recognition has arrived. But here is something deeper that must be understood. This door is not only about personal success. It is about influence. When you step into alignment, others observe your courage. When you respond quickly to divine instruction, it inspires those who are watching silently. Your obedience carries ripple effects far beyond your immediate circle. This is why delay is no longer acceptable. Archangel Michael stands in seasons like this to remind you that time-sensitive obedience carries multiplied reward. There are blessings attached to swift response. There are connections waiting on your decision. There are collaborations that cannot begin until you move. If you have felt called to start something, begin it. If you have felt prompted to release something, release it. If you have sensed that a chapter is closing, stop trying to rewrite it. The new chapter is already drafted. You must also guard your focus fiercely. Distractions will increase as you gain clarity. Old voices may try to re-enter your life. Doubts may attempt one final argument. But distraction is the final strategy of resistance. When purpose sharpens, noise increases. That noise is not guidance, it is interference. Stay anchored. And as you feel this urgency building, do not isolate yourself from encouragement. Engage with what strengthens your faith. If this message is igniting something within you, make it known. Like this video as a declaration that you refuse to delay any longer. Share it with someone who is standing in front of their own open door but feels afraid to step through. Comment your commitment below so that your words become a public affirmation of your courage. Subscribe to this channel and become part of this prophetic community. Join the membership if you feel called to go deeper. Hype this message so it reaches those who are seconds away from missing their moment. Because what you are about to hear next will connect the urgency to something even greater than you imagined. The next revelation will show you why this timing could not have happened earlier. There is a hidden layer behind this acceleration that will change how you see your entire journey. Hold your attention here. Do not let the momentum fade. The breakthrough you prayed for is not arriving slowly anymore. It is moving with speed. And speed requires readiness. Archangel Michael is declaring that you are no longer in the season of testing. You are in the season of manifestation. Testing builds endurance. Manifestation reveals results. You endured long enough. Now you are about to witness evidence. However, manifestation also exposes where your faith truly stands. When results appear, will you own them confidently? Or will you shrink back into old humility that hides your growth? There is a difference between humility and self-rejection. True humility acknowledges that God opened the door while confidently walking through it. You are allowed to advance. You are allowed to succeed. You are allowed to occupy spaces that once intimidated you. The door is open, but there is more behind it than opportunity. There is assignment. There is calling. There is impact that stretches beyond your comfort zone. And what comes next will reveal why the urgency was so strong from the beginning. Stay with this. The next shift will make everything clearer. Warrior of faith. What you are experiencing now is the thinning of the veil between promise and reality. The distance between what was spoken over your life and what you are about to see is collapsing. This is why everything feels heightened. Your awareness is sharper. Your discernment is clearer. Your spirit feels alert. You are standing at the intersection of prophecy and fulfillment. Archangel Michael has not delivered this message lightly. When he declares that your time has run out, it means the season of preparation has completed its cycle. There is no more polishing needed. No more hidden lessons required. No more stretching necessary before movement. The training phase has ended. Activation has begun. But activation requires boldness. The reason many people miss their open door is not because it closes quickly. It is because they hesitate long enough to lose confidence. Doubt slowly replaces excitement. Analysis slowly replaces action. And what was once clear becomes clouded by overthinking. You must not allow that pattern to repeat in this season. You already know what the door represents in your life. For some of you, it is a career shift you have been sensing for months. For others, it is a relationship decision that has been delayed out of fear. For some, it is a creative project that keeps pressing against your mind, demanding release. For others, it is stepping into leadership when you feel unqualified. Whatever it is, the clarity has already been given. Archangel Michael is reminding you that courage is not loud. It is decisive. There will be a moment very soon when an opportunity presents itself clearly. It may appear through a conversation, an unexpected invitation, or a sudden idea that feels urgent. When it happens, you will recognize it because it will align perfectly with what has been stirring inside you. Do not dismiss it. Do not call it coincidence. It will be confirmation. You must also prepare for elevation in perception. When you walk through this door, the way you see yourself will change. The limitations you once accepted will feel small. The fears that once controlled you will appear exaggerated. Growth rewrites self-image. And when self-image changes, behavior follows. This is why the enemy tried to attack your confidence for so long. If he could keep you questioning your worth, you would never step into environments that require authority. But that attack is losing its grip. You are beginning to see yourself through heaven's perspective, not through past criticism. Archangel Michael stands as a defender of identity. And your true identity is not defined by your mistakes. It is defined by your calling. As you approach this new territory, you must anchor yourself in truth. You were chosen before you were ready. You were appointed before you were experienced. You were seen before you were visible. This door is not opening because you forced it. It is opening because your appointed time has arrived. There may still be whispers around you suggesting caution. Some voices may advise you to wait longer. Others may question your timing. But not every cautious voice is wise. Sometimes caution is disguised fear projected from others. Be careful whose advice you absorb. Not everyone has the spiritual lens to recognize your moment. The peace inside you is more reliable than the opinions outside you. This season also demands discipline. Once you step through, consistency will matter more than excitement. The beginning of something new often feels thrilling. But sustainability requires structure. You will need to establish habits that support your growth. You will need to protect your time. You will need to guard your energy. Archangel Michael is not only announcing a breakthrough. He is preparing you to maintain it. There is something sacred about this timing. If this door had opened earlier, you might have mishandled it. If it had opened later, you might have grown discouraged. But it is opening now because you are balanced enough to carry it and hungry enough to value it. Look back at how far you have come. The person you were a year ago would not have handled this opportunity with the same maturity. The conversations you are ready for now would have intimidated you then. The responsibility ahead would have overwhelmed you before. But now, you are stable. This stability is the foundation for expansion. As you breathe in this realization, notice the shift in your posture. You are no longer asking if you are ready. You are recognizing that readiness has already been developed. The door is not mocking you. It is inviting you. Very soon, a defining moment will appear. It will test whether you truly believe what has been spoken over you. It will require a clear yes or a clear no. Ambivalence will not be an option. And when that moment arrives, remember this message. Remember that your time of delay has expired. Remember that the door was declared open before you even saw it. There is still one more layer you need to understand about what stepping through will unlock. What comes next will reveal the spiritual exchange that happens when obedience meets opportunity. Stay focused. The unfolding is reaching a powerful turning point. Anointed one, you are closer to the turning point than you realize. The door that has opened before you is not merely an entrance into something new. It is an exit from something that has quietly drained you for years. You have been surviving in spaces that were never designed for your full capacity. You adapted. You endured. You made the best of what was available. But deep within, you always sensed that you were built for more. Archangel Michael stands at this moment not only as a herald of opportunity, but as a guardian of divine exchange. Because when you step through a door opened by God, there is always an exchange. You exchange fear for authority. You exchange confusion for clarity. You exchange limitation for expansion. But you must also exchange comfort for calling. That is the part few talk about. Comfort feels safe because it is familiar. Calling feels intimidating because it stretches you. Yet calling carries fulfillment that comfort never can. You were not created to remain in spaces that only tolerate your gifts. You were created to occupy environments that require them. This is why the urgency was declared from the beginning. When heaven says your time has run out, it is announcing that the grace to remain where you are has expired. There was grace for the waiting season. There was grace for the learning season. There was grace for the hidden season. But now, grace is attached to movement. You may feel a mix of emotions rising. Excitement intertwined with uncertainty. Hope intertwined with hesitation. That tension is not a warning sign. It is the stretching of your capacity. When new territory calls your name, your mind scrambles to measure the risk. But your spirit already recognizes the reward. Archangel Michael is reminding you that obedience unlocks dimensions you cannot calculate. Logic will only take you so far. Faith carries you the rest of the way. As you prepare to step deeper into this new alignment, understand that identity refinement will intensify. Old labels will fall away. You can no longer introduce yourself through past failures. You can no longer define yourself by outdated narratives. The door ahead requires you to speak from vision, not from history. Some people around you may not understand this transformation. They may prefer the version of you that was smaller, quieter, less visible. But shrinking to maintain comfort in others is not humility. It is self-betrayal. Archangel Michael stands to defend your expansion, not your diminishment. There is also a sacred responsibility attached to this open door. It is not only about your personal breakthrough. It is about the ripple effect of your obedience. When you walk through boldly, someone else finds courage. When you respond quickly, someone else recognizes that delay is not their destiny either. Your yes becomes a signal to others that divine doors are real. This is why you cannot afford to retreat now. There is something powerful waiting just beyond your next step. It may not appear dramatic at first. It may look like a simple decision, a conversation, a submission, a commitment. But within that simple action lies multiplication. Heaven often hides extraordinary outcomes inside ordinary obedience. Archangel Michael declares that what awaits you carries increase. Increase in influence. Increase in clarity. Increase in provision. But increase requires stewardship. You must protect what grows. You must nurture what begins. You must remain disciplined even when excitement fades. Very soon, you will look back at this exact moment and realize it with a pivot. A moment you chose courage over comfort. A moment you refused to delay again. The moment you accepted that the door was truly open. If this message is igniting something undeniable within you, seal it with action. Type "I walk in authority" in the comments if you receive this shift. Blessing code 828 has just been activated over your life. And as this authority rises within you, understand that this message must reach those still standing outside their doors in fear. When you release a super thanks, join the membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description. You are not funding content. You are fueling a harvest. The Lord declares that those who sow beside still waters will see their fields overflow. I sense in my spirit that your seed today becomes light in someone else's darkness tomorrow. This is your moment to act, not out of obligation, but out of prophetic alignment. As you give, heaven records it as obedience, not donation. Step into this flow and release your support now, and watch how God multiplies what leaves your hand and returns it with increase. There is still one final unveiling ahead. What you are about to understand next will reveal why the door had to open exactly now and not a moment sooner. Stay attentive. The culmination is near. Faithful listener, you have now reached the edge of realization. The urgency that began as a warning is transforming into revelation. The door that was announced is no longer abstract in your mind. It has taken shape. You can see it. You can name it. You can feel its presence in your daily thoughts. This clarity is not accidental. It is confirmation that you are spiritually aligned with what heaven has prepared. Archangel Michael has walked you through awareness, separation, courage, identity, and authority. Now you must understand the deeper reason this door could not open earlier. Timing is not only about readiness. It is about convergence. Certain pieces had to align simultaneously. Certain people had to move. Certain mindsets had to mature. Certain cycles had to close completely. If this door had opened before the convergence, you would have stepped into it prematurely and carried unfinished lessons with you. But now, the convergence is complete. There are moments in life when preparation quietly ends and activation loudly begins. You are entering activation. Activation feels different. It carries weight. It carries expectation. It carries movement. You may notice that opportunities are surfacing quickly. Ideas are forming faster. Conversations are accelerating. This is not chaos. It is coordination. However, coordination requires participation. The reason your time of delay has expired is because lingering now would disrupt the alignment that has been divinely arranged. Imagine a key turning in a lock at the exact second the door is designed to open. If the key hesitates, the mechanism pauses. Heaven has turned the key. You must push the door. There may still be a subtle voice inside you asking one final question. What if this changes everything? That question is not fear. It is awareness. Yes, it will change everything. That is the point. Doors opened by God are not cosmetic adjustments. They are transformational transitions. Archangel Michael stands in this moment to reassure you that transformation is not destruction. You are not losing yourself. You are discovering your expanded self. The old version of you served its purpose. It survived storms. It endured uncertainty. It developed resilience. But that version was built for a different terrain. The terrain ahead requires greater strength and greater visibility. You are no longer meant to hide your potential. As you prepare to fully step through, pay attention to the atmosphere around you. Some things may feel unsettled temporarily. When alignment shifts, anything misaligned becomes uncomfortable. This discomfort is not a sign to retreat. It is evidence that you are outgrowing what once contained you. You may also notice that your discernment is sharper than ever. You can sense authenticity more clearly. You can detect distraction more quickly. This sharpening is part of the upgrade attached to this door. With greater opportunity comes greater need for wisdom. Archangel Michael is not leading you blindly. He is sharpening your awareness so that you can navigate the new terrain confidently. There is something else you must prepare for. Responsibility will increase. When doors open at a divine level, they do not only bring blessing, they bring accountability. You will be trusted with more influence. You will be entrusted with more visibility. You will be required to operate with integrity at a higher standard. Do not fear this elevation. You have already been trained through hardship. Hardship taught you humility. Hardship taught you patience. Hardship taught you empathy. Those lessons will anchor you in this new season. Very soon, there will be a defining confirmation. It may arrive as an undeniable opportunity. It may appear as a breakthrough that removes doubt instantly. When it happens, you will remember this message. You will remember the urgency. You will remember that heaven declared the door open before you saw the evidence. This is the beauty of prophetic timing. It prepares your spirit before your eyes witness fulfillment. And now let this settle deeply within you. The door is not fragile. It cannot be shut by human interference. What God has authorized cannot be canceled by opinion. But while no one can shut it, you can choose not to enter. That is the only variable left. And the choice belongs to you. Archangel Michael has done his part. Heaven has moved. Alignment has converged. Reparation has completed. The key has turned. All that remains is your step. There is one final unveiling ahead that will seal this message with clarity and authority. It will reveal what stepping through ultimately unlocks beyond personal gain. Remain attentive. The culmination is near, and what you are about to understand will anchor your courage permanently. Determined one, the final barrier you face is not external. It is internal permission. Everything else is aligned. The door is open. The convergence has happened. The confirmation is forming. But now you must grant yourself permission to walk fully into what God has authorized. Archangel Michael has declared that no man can shut this door. That includes the version of you that still doubts your worth. Sometimes the only hand trying to close the door is your own hesitation. You stand at the edge of breakthrough, yet a quiet question lingers. Am I truly allowed to step into something this significant? Yet, you are not trespassing into someone else's blessing. You are entering your own. For too long, you have associated humility with shrinking. You have equated caution with wisdom. You have mistaken hesitation for spiritual sensitivity. But there comes a point when humility must evolve into bold obedience. There comes a moment when caution becomes delay. There comes a time when sensitivity must transform into decisive action. This is that time. The urgency of 3 minutes was never about panic. It was about immediacy. It was about refusing to let old patterns sabotage new alignment. You used to wait until circumstances felt perfect. You used to seek endless reassurance. You used to replay every possible outcome before moving. That pattern has expired. Archangel Michael stands as a warrior of forward motion. He does not escort you to a door so that you can admire it. He escorts you so that you can enter. You may notice that opportunities are now pressing against your comfort zone. Invitations are appearing. Responsibilities are increasing. People are beginning to recognize something different about you. This is the manifestation phase. What was invisible is becoming visible. But visibility requires ownership. On your growth. On your calling. On the authority that has been building inside you. If you downplay what God is doing, you will shrink the impact of this door. If you speak about your opportunity as if it is small, you will train others to see it that way. Speak with clarity. Speak with gratitude. Speak with conviction. There is also a deeper layer unfolding. As you step through, you are not only changing your trajectory, you are breaking cycles. Patterns that existed in your family, in your mindset, in your history are being interrupted. You are the turning point. That is why the urgency was so strong. When cycles break, resistance increases. But once broken, they do not easily return. Archangel Michael declares that this door carries generational impact. Do not underestimate that. Very soon, you will see undeniable proof that the old season is finished. A situation that once drained you will lose its hold. A limitation that once felt permanent will dissolve. A fear that once dominated your thoughts will fade into memory. This is not gradual anymore. This is decisive. And as you feel this decisive shift, engage with it actively. Like this message as a public declaration that you are done delaying. Share it with someone who has been standing outside their own breakthrough. Comment below with the word "now" as a sign that you are stepping forward immediately. Subscribe to this channel and remain connected to this prophetic atmosphere. Join the membership if you are ready to go deeper and strengthen your spiritual alignment. Hype this message so it reaches those who are moments away from giving up. Because what comes next will seal everything with final clarity. The final revelation will not only confirm the open door, it will reveal what lies beyond it in full authority. Lean in carefully. The last layer carries weight. You have come too far to retreat now. The hesitation that once felt protective now feels restrictive. The comfort that once felt safe now feels limiting. That is the sign of readiness. When old environments begin to feel smaller, it is because your capacity has expanded. Archangel Michael does not walk you to the edge of destiny to watch you retreat. He walks you there because you are prepared to cross. The door remains open. The key has turned. The alignment is complete. The convergence has happened. The only remaining act is your full, unapologetic step. And what you are about to understand next will anchor this step permanently. Do not disengage now. The culmination of this message is about to unfold, and it will change the way you see this door forever. Resolute soul, you are standing at the final edge of hesitation. Everything that could be revealed has been revealed. Everything that needed confirmation has been spoken. Now what remains is the crossing itself. This is the sacred moment where knowledge must become action, where revelation must become embodiment. Archangel Michael has walked beside you through this unfolding not to inspire emotion alone, but to activate movement. The door that God has opened is not theoretical. It is not distant. It is not symbolic in some abstract way. It is connected to a real decision, a real shift, a real step that you must take. You already know what it is. Perhaps it is the email you have delayed sending. Perhaps it is the conversation you have avoided. Perhaps it is the resignation from something that no longer aligns. Perhaps it is the launch of something you have been building quietly. Whatever form it takes, clarity has been placed inside you. Now understand this deeply. Stepping through this door will feel like leaving gravity behind. For a brief moment, there may be a sensation of free fall. That feeling is not instability. It is transition. Whenever you leave one solid ground for another, there is a second where your feet are in motion. The second can feel uncertain, but it is necessary. Archangel Michael stands in that in-between space. You are not unsupported in the movement. You are guarded in it. There is also something powerful that happens the moment you act. Energy shifts. Confidence rises. Momentum accelerates. Doubt loses its grip. Action silences overthinking in ways contemplation never can. You have spent enough time thinking about this. Now you must experience it. The door ahead is not just opportunity. It is alignment with your highest version. the version of you that speaks clearly, the version of you that does not apologize for growth, the version of you that trusts divine timing. That version is not a fantasy, is your emergent identity. But identity solidifies through behavior. When you act in alignment with who you are becoming, that identity strengthens. When you retreat into old hesitation, the old identity attempts to reassert itself. This is why this moment matters so much. It is a defining pivot. You may wonder what happens if challenges appear once you step through. Understand this. Open doors do not eliminate effort. They are redirected. Instead of fighting to prove yourself, you will work to steward what has been entrusted. Instead of striving to survive, you will build to sustain. The struggle changes form, but it no longer feels pointless. Archangel Michael declares that what lies beyond this threshold carries purpose-driven effort, not draining resistance. There will also be confirmation through peace, not the absence of responsibility, but the presence of clarity. When you move correctly, even difficulty feels meaningful. When you remain stuck, even ease feels empty. Pay attention to that distinction. You have likely noticed that remaining where you were has started to feel heavier. Conversations feel repetitive. Efforts feel stagnant. Energy feels recycled. That heaviness is not burnout alone. It is misalignment signaling expiration. Your time there has run out, and that is not loss. It is liberation. The door God has opened cannot be shut by anyone, but it can only transform your life if you walk through it fully. Half steps will not produce full results. Partial commitment will not release complete breakthrough. This is the moment for decisive obedience. Archangel Michael is not whispering now. He is affirming. Move. Trust the preparation that brought you here. Trust the resilience that shaped you. Trust the discernment that has sharpened over time. Trust the peace that quietly confirms this is right. Soon, you will look back at this very moment and recognize it as the turning point. The instant when fear lost authority. The second when delay expired. The breath when courage outweighed comfort. There is one final declaration that must be spoken to seal this journey. It will anchor everything that has been revealed and release the final layer of authority over your step. Remain present. The inclusion carries activation. You are not on the edge of uncertainty. You are on the edge of fulfillment. And fulfillment is waiting for your movement. Victorious one, this is the sealing moment. The final declaration. The last hesitation dissolves here. You have journeyed from urgency to understanding, from confusion to clarity, from delay to decision. Now everything narrows into one sacred truth. The door is open, and you are stepping through. Archangel Michael has not stood at your threshold in vain. He has guarded your preparation, strengthened your resolve, sharpened your discernment, and announced your appointed time. When it was declared that your time had run out, it was not a threat. It was a release. The release from waiting. The release from shrinking. The release from doubting whether you were ready. You are ready. This door that God has opened is not fragile. It does not depend on human approval. It does not tremble at opposition. It does not close because someone misunderstands you. When God opens a door, it is established in authority. No man can shut it. No opinion can override it. No past mistake can cancel it. But you must walk. And now you are. Feel the shift as you cross. There is a difference in the atmosphere. The weight that once sat on your shoulders begins to lift. The mental noise that once clouded your thoughts grows quiet. The restlessness that once pushed you from behind now transforms into peace that pulls you forward. This is alignment. As you move into this new season, understand that the door was never just about opportunity. It was about identity. It was about stepping into the version of yourself that heaven always saw. You were not late. You were not overlooked. You were being refined for precision timing. Now that timing has arrived, there will be visible evidence soon. Tangible confirmation. Situations will rearrange. Conversations will align. Resources will appear. And when they do, remember this message. Remember that heaven announced the opening before your eyes saw the manifestation. Archangel Michael declares that what you are entering carries acceleration. What once moved slowly will begin to move swiftly. What once felt blocked will begin to flow. What once seemed impossible will begin to look inevitable. Do not shrink in this season. Stand upright in your calling. Speak boldly in your authority. Act consistently in your assignment. This is not the end of something small. It is the beginning of something significant. The 3-minute urgency was a call to decisive faith, and you responded. That response has shifted your trajectory. Let this be the moment you mark in your memory. A moment you chose courage. A moment you trusted divine timing. A moment you stepped through a door that no man could shut. Seal this transformation publicly. Type "I have entered" in the comments if you receive this completion. Blessing code 1212 is now released over your new beginning. And as you stand inside this open door, hear this final call. This message was not sent only for you. There are others still standing outside their breakthrough, still questioning if their time has expired, still waiting for confirmation. When you release a super thanks, join the membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description. You are not supporting a channel. You are opening doors for souls. The Lord declares that when you sow into fertile ground, your harvest rises like rivers in the desert. I sense that your act of giving becomes a key in someone else's lock. This is not charity. This is prophetic partnership. As you give, heaven records it as obedience and multiplies it back into your life with increase. Step into this flow now and release your support with faith and authority. The door is open. You have stepped through, and what begins now cannot be shut.